and welcome back to another episode of
Let's Get Spooky.
I'm Vamp.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we are talking about American Horror Story and all of the seasons, all of the things we love, all of the things we don't love. I was trying to find a kinder word
I'll
to
lay it
use.
down on the line for everyone.
Ashley will
We
tell
don't like a lot of things.
it like she...
Tell it like
Tell
it
it
is,
like
girl.
she means it.
Yeah,
Like
there you
she's
go.
got her big girl pants on.
So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what American Horror Story is, it is a horror anthology series created by Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk. I think that's how you say it.
Falchuk.
And there are currently 9 seasons of American Horror Story. Season 10 is slated for August 25th, so it is just around the corner. There was a little, what would you call it? The American Horror Stories, which is like
It's like a little spin-off sort
spin-off
of
show.
stories. Yeah.
And we each have our favorites, but I think before we kind of get into that, we have our what's in our bag related to our favorites. So Ashley, you want to kick this one off? And
Yeah. Well, mine, I mean, obviously I'm talking about certain specific seasons, but I think mine pertains to all seasons because I think this is a bag that everyone would enjoy.
The bag's really cute.
Well, yeah, the bag is cute. We get that. Thank you, Creepsville.
We love the bag.
I paid full price. I didn't get it for free. Pay your artist. I just thought, like, what would I need? Even if I went to a mall in Glendale, what would I need to survive the human race? But also in a murder house or in an asylum or in a fucking freak show and all of the above.
Creepy hotel.
So, yeah. So I was like, well, what I've realized over the past year is that, like, people really bother me. And so what would I need to combat the human race? And first, I just need a liquid courage. I need a liquid courage item. And I think it's, like, not appropriate to drink
That's my phone again. It's
the
fine.
ghost.
It's a ghost
in public, so you'd have to, like, go to the bathroom maybe.
Or you put it in something else.
We put it in a water
Take a
bottle.
whiz and a
You
sip.
put it in a little unassuming coffee
So that's
mug.
just to get your forehead, like, hot. So you're like, oh, fuck.
Is that what happens when you drink?
It does for
I
me.
feel like.
So then I was like,
I feel
well,
like that might be an alcohol
so
allergy.
then, speaking of heads, everyone gives me a headache, and including some of my dearest friends.
Rude.
I'm kidding.
We're right here.
I'm kidding. No, everyone gives me a headache. I give myself
You
a headache.
lie to us when you're on this couch.
No. So then I would take some extra strength Tylenol. If you had enough, I guess you could kill someone if you just put them in their eye sockets.
On
maybe.
Tylenol? Could you overdose on Tylenol?
No.
Is that
You put them in
possible?
their eye sockets. You push them in. I don't know. And then you push your fingers in. I didn't think about
I
this.
don't think it's the Tylenol that's killing that person.
I think it's
you're...
the bludgeoning of the eyeballs.
Anyways, I just think about these things when I'm not sleeping at night. And then
You're starting to worry me a little bit.
And then what I would do, because further,
Look at her.
no, it's not a cocktail. But if I was in, like, an asylum and I had to escape, say I was, like, chilling and I was like, you know, this guy is really annoying me. He's screaming all the time. I would, like, talk to him sweetly and I would Gorilla Glue his ass to a chair and I would restrain him with my sexual prowess while his butt just sits there. And then I take the chair with him and I throw him out the window.
How do you get him to stay seated for 12 to
Because
24
I
hours?
restrain him as the dominant
got it.
figure. I'm the
Got it.
dominant, not the submissive.
How many more? I thought we had
I got one more thing. And then I would hit him with pepper spray, or anyone, really.
Is that pepper?
looks like
I thought that
It's
was
hairspray.
lipstick. Oh.
Watch out.
It's pepper spray?
Yeah, it is.
To look like
facing my
hairspray?
way.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Amazon, babies.
That's
let me see.
impressive.
Yeah, just don't spray it.
I thought it was like a lipstick
Well,
or
that's
like
how
I
I would get by. If I was, like, in an insane asylum, they
You'd
would
be
be
like,
like,
Oh,
it's
it comes
just-
out this
It's
way.
just my hairspray. Don't do it.
no.
Don't do
That's
it.
my weapon. Anyways, I don't need snacks this time. I am on a diet, and I just need glue and booze and Tylenol.
That's a pretty solid
And
bag.
The booze and
I
Tylenol
honestly
will
think
help.
whether you're a teacher or you're fighting off clowns, whether they be human or actual clowns, you
All of
should
those
have
things
all
would-
these things.
I mean, I could see all of those things coming into
Maybe some of these.
use. And snacks, because we always need snacks.
Yeah.
AJ, in your bag, what do you have?
I don't know how I'm gonna.
Can I help? Should I hold? I'll hold the microphone for you.
Oh, I got it. So
She has the world's cutest bag.
my cute little bag that I made. So, wait, are we saying how these are related to our?
I mean,
I mean, it's no secret. We're going
No.
to talk about it in 2
Yeah.
seconds. So I will be talking about murder house in Coven. So one of the things you obviously need when you are visiting the murder house is a Ouija board.
That's the legit
Although
Parker
maybe
Brothers
not
game.
because they come out and communicate right away, but I don't know. It's always nice just in case you need that little extra
It's like
help.
for show, you know.
Yeah, not too bad. And this one's an older one.
That's
I
the
think
old.
this
What's
one's
the
from
Parker Brothers
Like
one, right?
the 70s
from
or 60s.
1972. Real
The
fancy.
OG. Here, you want me to put it on this side?
Yes, please.
Be gentle with the Ouija board.
I also have my last rites kit, just in case, because people
Ward off the
Jesus
demons.
just fell out.
people are dying left and right, so you never know when you will need to read someone their last rites. What
You're
fell
coming
out?
in with all of the old
Instructions
school
how to
stuff.
kill.
No, this is just a towel.
Oh, same thing.
That's just a cleaning rag.
obviously
Depends on
need
how you
that.
use it.
And it comes with instructions what to do in case of serious illness. So, just all in one little
That's a cute little carry
little thing.
case.
Isn't that cute? And a little carrying case. You can just pop it right into your purse. Always right there. We can put that right there.
It's gonna fall out. Jesus is gonna spilleth. He's gonna
How pretty.
resurrect
This is
in a
actually
way we
really
can't
cool
afford.
Old
Yeah.
one too.
I think I got that at Love to Death in Haight Ashbury in San Francisco.
You need to refill your holy water though. It's empty.
I know. I don't think it's ever had it in there. Who knows? And then because I'm talking about Coven too,
Catnip?
I have a little bit of cemetery dirt from Salem.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's what I have in my bag.
Well, my bag is here, and I'm going to be talking about Freak Show.
Why are all your bags so big?
Because I have a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
And you never know how many things you need to fit in your bag. So I'm always prepared. So my items are related to American Horror Story 1984 because I love the 80s. And although I'm going to stop talking about it, I'll wait till I get into it more in depth because I know you guys have opinions. But first in my bag is water because we are at camp in this season
yep.
and you have to stay hydrated. You never know if you're going to go on a hike or an adventure.
Not
And
sponsored. But actually, maybe. I don't know.
we prefer black water. Those fulvic trace minerals are very good for you. And then I have a very important tool. I don't have tampons.
That was another episode.
Those would be important. I have weapons. You guys know I always come in hot with the weapons.
Wow.
So we have all of these weapons, and these all have the little convenient like belt clip. Just clip it on your pants, and
What if
you're
I have a
always
belt?
prepared. If you don't have a belt, you could. I don't know. You could clip it on your necklace.
Clip it on your hair extensions.
Clip it on your hair clip or
There's
your
a
hat.
hook in there somewhere.
And then we have another, just in case that this little short, I don't really know the proper
That's
name
like
for this
short-
knife. This is like a short stabby, short distance, close combat.
Close combat. Yeah.
That's for steak.
Or to cut your meat. And then if you need a little bit more distance, this is
Bread cutter.
this slices bread, also slices trees if you need to get through the forest quickly.
Why does it come to a square?
It's
For
a
bread.
certain type of a knife. It's called a Japanese nata tool. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation.
That would not right through some bread, honestly.
But this could also serve as like a throwing tool, but you also have more distance. So it's very important. It's also hard to put the sharp objects away with one hand. So we might have to teamwork this. And just in case I did cheat, I know we said 3 items, but I have a tiny little knife on my necklace. And this probably wouldn't do a whole lot. They have to be very close.
You just get them in the.
Right in the jugular
Or
or
cutting
like
your
in
nails.
the eye. But see, with the nails, I would need.
Oh yeah.
I can't even open it.
You're gone by this point.
Help me. It has a little thing on there, and so I have to have a partner to help me open. Go. You can,
think
well,
I
it
that
opens-
doesn't
no, it
look
opens
very.
all the way.
That looks like a piece of shit.
Look at
Leanne.
how cute it
Jesus.
is, though. It's so cute, and it's
Someone
a little.
has to be this close to
Yes.
you to.
And then they could backfire and be like, psych, and then kill you.
But it
JK.
also, it's not going to go in very far. I feel like you would make
if
it
it's on a
after this.
necklace,
It's
you'd
like a
have
little
to be
Swiss
like,
Army
kiss
Man
me.
No, you would do the thing that they do in the movies where they rip the necklace off their neck, and it always is so easy. And you're like,
yeah,
have you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
really tried to do that? Like, if I try to do that right now
With a knife,
Oh,
not
actually,
the greatest.
it is easy. Dang it! Now I gotta
As you
fix
just
that.
broke
Yeah,
your
it's all right.
necklace.
Well, I was trying to prove a point, and clearly I was wrong. But
All I have is a
I come
Lego
in hot with the
necklace.
weapons. So if you ever need help with tools to hurt anybody, I got you covered.
Got it.
And I have the Tylenol.
And you have the pain reliever for when I'm wounded. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess we will go into our seasons, our favorite seasons from American Horror Story. And AJ is starting with the OG, so take it away.
Yep. We are going all the way back to 2011, October 5th, when the very first season of American Horror Story aired. Obviously, when it first aired, it was just American Horror Story, but retroactively, it was coined Murder House. That's what they called the house within the show too. So it all makes sense. Quick little recap, just in case for some reason you have been living under a rock and you don't know anything about the first season of American Horror Story. It focuses on the Harmon family, and they move to literally like the most beautiful house in Los Angeles.
So cool. It's like a dream home.
It's absolutely beautiful. They shot it on location at a house in Los Angeles, this restored Victorian. It's absolutely beautiful. Tiffany glass on the inside. It's amazing. But the family has their own demons that they deal with. The dad, Ben Harmon, he had an affair.
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. His wife had a miscarriage, so they're like, they already, the family themselves have some baggage, emotional baggage that they are dealing with. Then they come into this house, which itself, you find out, is haunted by former residents who have died in the home, and just anyone who has died in the home. So I think that's one of the things that I like about the season, is that not only is the house haunted by its past, but so is the family, because throughout the season, the girl he had the affair with is trying to come back and trying to get back into his life. So you're dealing with that, and it's chaos.
Honestly, for the time that it came out and the things that you were seeing on, it's FX, right? So it was like a cable show. Mm-hmm. The things that you were seeing on cable television at a pretty early hour, I don't think it was on super late.
Yeah.
Were pretty intense. Mm-hmm. And the storylines, and you're right, there was so much kind of turmoil within the family already that you're like, this is kind of a horror story in itself.
Yeah.
And then you have the element of like the actual ghosts and the haunting
the
and
stuff
all
that's
of
in the house,
the spooky
neighbors.
Stuff. And there was some, we just recently actually went back to start watching it again, because it's been, 2011, right? It's been so many years.
Yeah.
And there was so much stuff that I was kind of just a little shocked.
You're
now
like,
it's like no one would bat an eyelash to that.
Yeah.
But thinking about the time, I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy that they just put that out there, and people, and I think that's one of the reasons people loved it so much, because it was pushing the boundaries for the time.
Yeah. Especially, I think, also for people like us, because Ryan Murphy, Ryan Murphy.
You're right.
I said Brian, and I'm like, wait, that's not right. Ryan Murphy, he also created Glee. So, there's TV shows like that, which are very happy, bubbly, and this was, kind of one where it's not... I also think that it's one of those great shows where people who, while, yes, it does show, really dark stuff, I feel like it's not so much to where people who are afraid of, horror movies and stuff, it can kind of be like a gateway getting into more of it.
Right. It wasn't super gory. There was
people.
There's
gore,
a little
bit.
It was a lot of a mind fuck, really.
Right.
Which is what I think all of the seasons do really well. Is
more psychological.
There's grit, but there's also things that just kind of stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's better than things that are just viscerally bizarre, like Human Centipede and stuff, where you're like, that's just really
just
nasty.
That's just really gross.
At least this, it makes you think, but in a way that isn't you couldn't be a 16-year-old and be afraid to watch it. You could kind of handle it.
And it's also relatable topics that it's introducing or intermingling things that people, miscarriages, cheating, things that the everyday person goes through, but relating those into the horror genre. I just thought it was done very well. Yeah. And it was basically the jump off point for everything that was to come after that.
Yeah.
So
so back to the house really quick. If you're in LA, you can actually go to the murder house where they actually shot the exteriors and interiors there. It's at 1120 Westchester Palace. It was built in 1902 by Alfred Rosenheim. So it's known as the Rosenheim Mansion. It took 5 years to complete, which I feel like when I say that, I'm like, that seems crazy. Like, one house took 5 years, but I think it's 1902, so they probably took longer.
They take their sweet ass
to
time.
do stuff.
Yeah.
It takes
And
Contractors are slow now, but they're probably really slow back then.
It's
Well,
probably
getting
even worse
materials
than
and stuff.
yeah.
But
all
yeah, that does
stuff.
seem like a very long time.
But like on the inside, like all the details, like precision woodwork.
Yeah,
and,
I think
like,
everything
wood took their time for a
yeah.
reason.
Yeah, probably everything's hand carved. It's yeah.
Well, and also
there-
we
it's
don't know,
beautiful.
like, is it 5 years? Like, was the structure built, and then like for the last year they're just working on like things
True.
inside, But still, I
2
mean,
years
the house
on the
is-
roof.
yeah,
Waste
the house is insane
Yeah, so you can go and visit it
from the street, right?
from the
You can't
street.
go-
You can't because like right now it's actually kind of really sad because at least the last time that I went, but I've seen other people who go and visit and take photos. They have a chain link fence all the way around it, so you can't even like really get
Close.
a good photo of it. Like I understand like they don't want people going on the grass, and like I think people would probably
not be respectful.
wouldn't be respectful, which I
I-
understand, but it's like that's such an eyesore to like
I
this
wonder, though,
beautiful home.
if it's a thing because of the new American Horror Stories and because it became like not
I
that it
went
was not relevant, but it became more relevant again.
Yeah.
But
that they're
like
doing it
the-
as a precaution.
The Halloween movie in like Pasadena, there's no gate. They like leave
yeah,
a
the-
pumpkin
Yeah.
so you can take a photo. So
they
it's just like
invite you.
I personally, like if I lived in like say the Breaking Bad house, for example, where they also have a chain link fence,
You
like,
wouldn't wanna look at that
I wouldn't
ugly
want to
thing.
like turn on my light in the kitchen, look outside my window and see like kids going like, peace, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
weird, but it depends on the crowd that you're attracting. And I think
That's
maybe
tough, too, 'cause you
maybe it attracts
a different,
That's true because
a
I know
more
the-
invasive crowd.
The Nightmare on Elm Street house, I think they're not like they didn't put any like fences or anything. Like they put the huge hedges in the front, so like it kind of changed the exterior a little bit.
Right.
But I have heard stories where they don't get really happy if people stay for too long because I
Yeah.
get it. Like
It's
you're
your
a normal
house.
person. This is my
Yeah.
house. They just happen to shoot this movie here.
Yeah.
But this the Rosenheim mansion has been used in quite a few different things. American Horror Story, obviously.
The interior has been used a ton. Yeah.
Spider-Man, 6 Feet Under, Dexter. So I don't know. It's weird. maybe it's like a security thing because I think the neighborhood surrounding it right now,
It's not that nice,
it's not
right?
the nicest,
Yeah.
which is funny because back when it was built, it was known as Billionaire Row.
Oh, and it's not so
Definitely
much
not Skid
not so
Row.
much. But yeah, so I definitely really love the first season because it's the one that kicked everything off, and it's one of those shows that if I'm like, oh, what should I put on? Oh, let's just put this on because it's like just something that you know.
And there's so much that, I mean, I highly recommend if you're kind of gearing up for the new season that you go back and kind of rewatch because there's so much stuff that comes together. And once you see like later seasons, when you go back and you see other things, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Now I know why this happened.
Yeah.
Or, you kind of put all the pieces back together.
And there's little things that come back. So like in Murder House, the baby that happened between Rubberman or Tate, as we find out, and Vivian is the shows up in Apocalypse.
tidbits.
Go
back and find the tidbits.
stuff.
Should have
is
called it
sprinkled.
Return of the Baby.
It doesn't have quite as good of a ring to it.
I think
it's
I
not-
would catch some eyeballs.
So you have the
Asylum.
Asylum.
As people would say incorrectly. Asylum was the first one I saw. I didn't even see Murder House before that.
Oh wow!
Because someone mentioned it to me because they're like, you went to Catholic school, you would love this. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh
You're
my.
like, these are my real
I'm like, well, this
horror
is an
stories.
asylum,
Relatable,
but
yeah.
like it's relatable as heck. So, basic info, it aired on October 17th, 2012. It's also weird to think that was like almost 10 years ago.
I know.
Because I was like a 19-year-old.
I know. We're all
Like,
babies.
I had,
You
like-
just aged yourself.
I was living off cream cheese in college. Like, how was I watching this? But anyways, it aired.
How did you have
2012.
cable? Who had cable?
I sneaked it. And it's based in 1964 in a mental institution and called, I'm going to say this wrong, like Briarcliff Manor, Briarcliff or whatever. It's basically a mental institution, which is also something to think about too, because like, especially when we're talking about like shows like this, ghost stuff where there's like insane asylums, like tuberculosis, like places,
Hospitals.
whatever. There's all these places that like really just feel like sterile and gross sometimes. And then like right now, like what do we have like present day? We have like rehab. So it's weird to think how things progress from like psychiatric things and like insanity, and now it's just kind of a little bit more cozy.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also the way that people are treated is a lot
they're treated
better
a little bit better.
Yeah.
Especially if you have money. But yeah, it goes into a story about Lana, and she's trying to interview this potential killer Bloody Face, who she thinks is Kit Walker, played by Evan Peters, which, fun fact, Evan Peters and Sarah Paulson are the only two that appear in every single show. Like, every single one. Like, obviously there's repeat actors in all of them, but they're the only two that are in every single.
They do not appear in one of
is
later
it the
seasons.
new one?
Yeah.
No.
84, right?
1984.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they lied on the internet.
Yeah. Because one of the main reasons that so many people hated 1984 is because of them. Also the story, whatever. But I'll get into that later.
Anyways, okay, so the internet lied. Sorry, Google. Whatever.
Debunked.
Anyways, short story, whatever. Lana ends up being committed by Judy, who is the evil bitch, lady of doom, nun.
Correct
bitch.
title.
Yes. We don't like Judy. Judy looks like someone that I had a nun with in middle school, and I was like, fuck Judy.
Too relatable.
But Judy gets her committed, even though she's trying to like get the story and stuff. And the whole, there's things I like about it and there's things that I hate about it. So I'll just say that I really like that they're, portraying the story of like the hypocrisy of like certain like religious like institutions and the asylums back in 1964, like how they were treated. And that's cool. And the storyline was great. And then the finale made me really irritated because they introduced, like, it was really cute. Like, they were like, oh, Judy goes to live with Kit, and then Judy gets sick, and then Kit gets cancer, and then the aliens come. And you're like, where the aliens? Like, there's, like, this little trickle of aliens every so often. And I'm like, I thought we were, like I don't understand the alien thing. Like, I get it. Like, aliens exist, but they're like, boop.
It just did not satisfy
and he beams
your
up.
urge.
And I'm like, this whole story was beautifully shot. Like, I'm going to talk about the set design in a minute, but like, there was all these things, and there's all these moments and these like cinematographically, fucking, I don't know how to say it, but it was beautiful. And then they interject aliens, and it just feels like it's a cop-out.
Just trying to keep you on your toes.
Yeah. I don't want those toes. I decline. I have no feet. So
I don't have toes.
Anyways, that annoyed me. I don't know if anyone else got annoyed because they really just started like Cardinal Howard just killed himself in the tub and was like, hell yeah. And then like obviously like Judy died and she finally got taken and she's like, yes, I'm ready. And then the aliens come and you're like, well, what the fuck?
I love aliens, so I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel
I don't
like I've
like it.
expressed this a few times, but I like when things just get really weird, so.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like it.
These shows will do that for you.
So, anyways, Google lied. I'm apparently not right sometimes. But
I think it might have been. I think it might have been old fact because at one point in time
before that season came out,
that was correct.
Absolutely,
it was 2019.
Yeah. Okay,
anyways,
that was old.
So, but the set design I found really interesting because like normally like you look at the asylum and it has like the spiral staircase and like it's just beautifully lit and you're like it's natural light. It's like in a house. It was like on the Paramount lot, which like I still like to this day. It boggles my mind that they can get all of these like just beautiful scenes shot in something that's like completely like there was the one of the designers on it. She said from inception to final production, it's like 3 months, which seems like a short amount of time to like build staircases and like chambers and torture rooms and like bedroom, like all these things. She's like, yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's insane because like if you've been on a set, like you walk in and usually from the backside, it's just
raw
wood.
Yeah,
it's
raw
just
paneling,
wood holding things up. And then you walk to the other side,
it's incredible.
and you're in a completely new new space.
And that's one of the things why
crazy.
they can do it so fast is because they are only
It's just a
building the facade, the front, the camera view of it, you know. But it is fascinating where they're like, we just draw this stuff up, and then we have this team of people, and just like that, it's all set,
and it's
we're ready.
structurally safe, I guess. Even
you
though
can
it's
walk
held
up and
up.
down stairs. Yeah, you hope.
But there was a quote from the guy, Mark Worthington, who was a set designer, and he was like, early asylums were built like European palaces, and they were thought if you put people in beautiful palaces, that alone would like help them. So it's kind of interesting because he played that out in a lot of the design where like there was like these arches and stuff and like these European accents. Which
like things that you're like, why would you do that?
It's very dismal and it's like somber. But you can tell that they're trying to like depict the fact that they were like trying to put people in this like somewhat, even though it might be dilapidated in the show, they were like, oh, like it's like a palace and you're gonna get better. And,
At one point, it was probably this beautiful place, but
until it got run down.
and
then it turned to shit. But I was really intrigued by the set design because I was like, I would really like to live there if we added some pillows,
some velvet, some
curtains,
pillows,
a little bit of dusting, every now
some
and
nice
then,
lighting.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my take on Asylum. 5 stars.
5 out of 5,
except for the aliens.
5 stars out of what?
7.
7.
Oh, okay.
That's
a
decent.
weird rating.
No one
system.
ever
weird
asks
rating
how many
system.
stars that I deal with, but it's 7.
5 out of 7.
5 out of, I mean, that seems like it's above average.
We love
Yeah.
we like odd numbers here, so it's fine.
Okay, there you
I
go.
don't like that rating system, but
Yeah,
we'll go
I don't
with
like
it.
it.
Well,
I
it's
feel
not
like it's
your
hard.
party, it's mine.
And so AJ, you have
I have the 3rd season,
and these are actually 1, 2, and 3. So seasons 1, 2, and 3 so far.
Yeah. So Murder House, then Asylum, and then Coven, which I am going to be talking about, which aired October 9th, 2013. As the name suggests, it is about witches.
Yes.
It focuses on a school in New Orleans where young witches are sent to basically learn to protect themselves. It's over 300 years after the Salem witch trials, and witches are kind of dwindling, like the amount of how many witches there are, either because, if you're showing some type of special thing, people tell you to
Knock it off.
Yeah,
we
don't
don't
do
like
that.
that.
Don't do that. Kind of hide it. So either their special powers aren't showing because of that. And then also I think they're also being hunted. So they're being brought to this school, and
The name.
I was trying not to say this name, but it's Miss Robichaux. Yeah. The Miss Robichaux
It doesn't look like
school.
that. When you read the word, you're like, that's
it's
not how you say
it's
that.
a very fancy looking word. So yeah, this, like we said, there's a lot of the same actors who are in this season. One of my all-time favorites is Emma Roberts, and I think she especially shines in
For
this
sure.
season. I really love when she gets into that, like, bitchy, I'm better than you,
The bitchy
kind
witch.
of like attitude, which she is also in like Scream Queens. So if you've seen that, it's her. I feel like her character is kind of similar in this. She is like a former child star. She thinks she's going to be the next Supreme. So there's a lot of conflict in this one because the Supreme is basically the one witch who has like all the powers. So usually if you're a witch, you have like 1 or 2 things that you can do. You kind of specialize in this one thing. But the Supreme is the one who is like the most powerful. In the story, if as one Supreme is dying, another one is rising. So Jessica Lange's character, she is the current Supreme. She is starting to notice that she is slowly dying. Her hair is falling out, which is she's very much this character who loves beauty and wants to obviously stay powerful, but she is slowly losing that. So she is trying to come up with a way to continue living so that she could
life.
kind of keep that status of Supreme. She kind of goes to a few different extremes. She goes to Angela Bassett's character, who is a voodoo queen, and in the story, those who practice voodoo and those who practice witchery are kind of like at heads. So that is kind of like a big step for her to go to these people that,
would be considered your enemy.
your enemy, and being like, I mean, Angela Bassett on herself, she is the most, she's like, she hasn't aged one bit. So it's like real life is just playing on the screen. But so she tries to go to her to get eternal life. That doesn't work out very well. And then she digs up Kathy Bates' character, who is an old racist plantation owner, and who has been cursed.
Choices.
Yeah, who has been cursed by Angela Bassett, and that's why she's still alive. And that just creates this great story because, you know, you're from that time. You have no idea. Like, can you imagine just like being dug out of the ground where you've been like encased for however many years, and now you're like in this world where you have computers on your like.
That would be
all
awful.
The technology and stuff like
awful.
that. It's just like a completely different world. I feel like that would just be. So I love that aspect of it too. Yeah, and then Stevie Nicks shows up in it because she is a real life witch, and
her.
It is absolutely amazing. I just remember watching it, and when she walks in, and they're playing Seven Wonders, and she is just being the most amazing person that she is.
It was perfect. That was one of the moments I was like, I love this show so much. So I would say that both of my picks, I'm going to talk about one right now and I'll talk about one later, were rated. So I looked up like the best and worst American Horror Stories. It was like worst to best American Horror Stories. And my two were in the top three. So
top three best or top three worst?
Top three worst.
Oh no.
Yeah. And granted, like, I get it. Everyone has their opinions. I would say that when you search the internet about like people's opinions about them, there are a lot of varying opinions.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that love it. There's a lot of people that hate it. So my first one is Freak Show, and I saw pretty much everything up to Freak Show, and it was just kind of mind-blowing to me. I, as a kid, never went to the circus, and I always wished that I could go to the circus. I always wanted to go to the circus, and I always wanted to go to summer camp. Two of the things I never did. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Summer camp is not what it's not.
Right.
Very fun.
The only summer camp stories I hear from people are terrible, so I'm glad that I didn't go. But in my mind, I was always kind of drawn to those things. So the idea of Freak Show and seeing the bearded lady and seeing the conjoined twins and seeing things that are like at times kind of hard to watch. And the story was super fun. I mean, it opens up and you see, you know, Sarah Paulson, and you see like her one face, and you're like, oh, okay. And then as she keeps walking, you see that there's two of them. And it was just like so visually intriguing to me that I couldn't look away. And then when you see, like, I know everyone, when you think of Freak Show, you think of Twisty the clown.
My favorite. I love him.
And as his character kind of develops and you hear why he has that mask, and like, I think a lot of people watched it, but you forget how intense some of those things were and how intense some of those stories were.
His was tragic.
And then
horrible.
what it leads him to do, how he becomes a murderous clown, and how he, you know, is the things that happened to him were so bad that it led him to this lifestyle. But if you just saw that clown killing someone, you'd be like, wow, that's a crazy clown.
Yeah, you're insane. But once you get to know his story, it just makes him more of like that tragic figure where you're like, oh.
Yeah. And so one of the characters, Evan Peters, that shows up in almost every season, he is a fan favorite, and I would say every season that he does show up in, I feel like he's everyone's favorite character.
Except for mine, because I like Twisty.
You like Twisty better?
I like
Twisty's not in every season.
No, but he's not my favorite character. I've never had Evan Peters as my favorite character in any of them.
I wouldn't say that he's my favorite. I just think that he is definitely
he's
a fan favorite.
He's like a little special egg. Like
it's just his acting in it is just so amazing. You can just really tell that he fully becomes that character.
Absolutely.
This fully developed character that he just like becomes.
And in Freak Show, he is the lobster boy. And his character is very like kind of like heartwarming, protecting. He's like the heartthrob, I guess, like the greaser kind of heartthrob looking guy. And I just remember watching that scene. I think they're in the diner, and you see, and you're like, what is going to happen? There was so many things that when these new characters were introduced, you're trying to figure out, like, obviously the bearded lady, you could tell she's a bearded lady, but there were so many of them that I was like, what's what's going to be down from his neck down? I don't know. And a lot of the things were just visually kind of shocking. And if you kind of went down the history of a freak show, the freak show was actually introduced in the like early 1800s, and through about the 1940s is when they were kind of more popular. There was an article that I read that said they were banned in, I think, the 1960s, but I don't know if they actually was actually banned. I think they were just highly discouraged because they were basically preying on people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And the freak show was essentially just opening up a can of worms for these people to be ridiculed. So there was a long time that they were kind of taken away because people didn't want, you don't want to make money off people being made fun of.
Yeah.
Most people weren't looking at these people appreciating them. They were just like, oh wow, pointing fingers, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So the fact that this show kind of highlights these types of people with disabilities and puts it in a story that is just kind of shocking and a story that's just fun. You find these characters and you kind of get attached to these characters and you start to feel for these characters. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And most people are like, freak show, I didn't like that one at all. And I'm like, I loved it.
I think that was my second favorite one. Like Asylum was my first, that was my second.
And visually it was just so different.
And I also feel like when they were talking, like when you were saying that they like banned freak shows, I also think it's good to like show that like those people can also make money. Yeah. Like I feel like probably in the 60s they were like, no, that's like degrading, but it's like the freak show like entire series, like they showed them in this light that they weren't just kind of like monsters.
Right.
Just because of the way they look.
Right. And it gave them an opportunity to do something that maybe they're what else could they do? Maybe that was the thing that they could do. And I think to take that away, and I understand that you don't want people to be ridiculed. No one wants that. And if you can protect people, but you're also taking away a way for them to make money, their livelihood. So it was like that double-edged sword. And I mean, now you see stuff, I would say now you see more, when you see kind of like circus circus acts that are like that, it's more on the elements of like danger. Like when you see the freak show, it's like they're swallowing swords and spitting fire and
the ones where they like hammer the nail in their nose, or the cage where they're doing the motorcycle upside down and stuff like that. It's a different, it's more like things that you can do. What's that word?
Abilities?
Like not abilities, like talents. Yeah, like just dangerous, like the more weird, dangerous talents that would shock people.
Yeah. And honestly, when I look at the series of like American Horror Stories, if I could be in one of them, I think Freak Show would be a really fun one to be in. That's just my opinion.
I want to be a witch.
I want to be a witch.
I've retired from witchery.
So up next, back to Ashley.
Just me really quick. I didn't write a lot about this because I am dead of opinions because I feel like I'm negative Nelly, so I will keep them to myself.
I hate everything.
No, but I do talking about Hotel, it was released October 7th, 2015. It was centered around Hotel Cortez, which I guess was based off of Hotel Cecil. But then I also read something else, and they're like, no, it's based off of a hotel in Chicago. And it's like, well, what is it then?
I think it's a Chicago one.
It's multiple things.
Inspired by multiple.
Yeah. Because when you really look at it, it's like it doesn't really match the Cecil story other than murder. So it doesn't make sense that it would be like, this is the inspo, bitches. But because it was in LA and because it was downtown, people were like, doof.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it follows the Countess, Lady Gaga, who we love, and I was really excited about this because I was like, fashion, bitches, fashion. And she owns the hotel, and she tries to protect herself and children from her past lover, and then John Lowe, who's the homicide detective. And the thing is with that series, I really loved it visually because it had a very intense visually Art Deco sensibility.
It was very fancy
with
looking.
The time period. It felt like you were literally transported. When I look at Coven, I'm like, oh, that's present day. That's wow. And then same thing with Freak Show. It's I get a little bit of the past, but I really felt like they were almost in a Great Gatsby kind of scenario. I mean, it's still present day ish.
They were also, which I didn't mention, they were also in Florida. So
yeah,
I mean,
but. Or in the Paramount lot.
Yeah, in Florida.
But it was just kind of visually beautiful, but I felt like I just didn't love the plot. Like, I felt like I was waiting for something to happen, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, someone else got killed. Cool. And
that
then,
was lower on the list of the worst to best fan rated.
Yeah.
And everyone,
I just felt mad about it. Like, I was happy I watched it, but I was just like, okay. Like, I wouldn't rewatch it. There was like a lot of the seasons I would rewatch, but I don't think I'd rewatch that.
And I think the popular opinion on that one is everyone was really excited for Lady Gaga and wanted this like very grand story, and it just didn't quite meet up to people's expectations.
Yeah, I mean, she was the hype monkey.
She was for
like,
sure.
Yo.
I mean, yeah, we were all like,
and she
what?
was great. Like, I think she won like awards for her acting, and like she obviously did an amazing job, but I just kind of felt like flat about it. I wasn't like, when you see like when someone releases like a new show and you're like excited to see the next one, I was kind of like, oh, I'll just go to sleep. I'll like see it in a few days.
You're like, I'll just watch them whenever I have
wasn't
time.
like jonesing for it. I was kind of like, I'd rather catch some Z's.
Yeah, there's some shows where you turn it on and you're like, I'm not going to sleep all night because I'm going to watch every single one
like
of these.
it didn't excite me in that way. And I don't like to be that negative person, because also in my head, I'm just like, I'm just a freaking human and I couldn't pull off that. So who am I to judge? Like, I don't have a crew of people who could put that together. Yeah. But like, for me as someone who like sees so much content like we all do, I was just kind of like,
you set your expectations.
It was chill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. Same. So the last favorite before we get into some more fun stuff, for me is American Horror Story 1984, which I would say in this room, if everyone in this room was voting for who liked it, you would be outvoted because the other three of us loved it.
I just am so sick of shit that looks like Stranger Things.
Well,
but it's not though.
It had that vibe.
It was so much more murder.
I mean, it was more murder. Like the first episode, you're like, okay,
it was so much
the first
murder.
10 minutes, but
it's too Friday the 13th to be Stranger Things.
Yeah. It's not. It's more
a completely
campy.
different dynamic.
Yeah, we're not trying to like. I feel like they were trying to be serious, but it was campy. And if you are a fan of the '80s, I was too little to appreciate things that came out in the 80s because I was too young. So as I grew older and was introduced to it more, I was like, yes, jazzercise, yes, 80s, yes, bright colors, yes, like campy horror flicks. So for me, I was all in episode 1. And to be honest, that was one where we finished it and I was like, is the next one out? Like I was so excited for the next one. So I am that small percentage that loves it because everyone else is like, this one sucked. And I'm like, you suck. And one of the main reasons that people didn't love it was, first of all, Evan Peters and Sarah Paulson did not make an appearance in the season. But most people complained about the storyline, which I do not agree because I thought it was great. They basically, the serial killer is Richard Ramirez, which also is another thing that I'm fascinated by. So it had the 80s factor, the Richard Ramirez serial killer thing. So I was like super in. And Billie Lourd's character, I love her so much. When it kind of opens up and they're like in the Jazzercise studio and she comes out with that like leopard thing and the blue headband and the hair and like her character is just like such a like I don't give a shit badass character, and she has great lines and she's just fun, and the whole summer camp aspect was super fun. So I enjoyed it, and I think that if you're one of those people that was like, I don't know, like go back and try again. And I would say that about a lot of the seasons. If there's one that you feel like you're like, that wasn't quite my favorite, I think that
like Roanoke or whatever that was.
Roanoke.
I
loved Roanoke.
I also love Roanoke too.
I just loved how like you're watching it and you're
Roanoke.
And then it just turns into a completely different show halfway through.
The whole like confessional element where it was like a reality show.
It becomes a reality show halfway through and you're just like, what? And then they're revisiting events that happened. It also has one of my favorite drag queens, Trixie Mattel, in it. So I love it.
I enjoyed it. I think the one thing that I enjoy the most is that they are so different, and that could either be a blessing or a curse, because people do love to see something and they know what they're going to get, and they can rely on it. So when you do throw something at them like that, and they're like, "Wait, why is he talking to the camera right now?"
Yeah, why is this? Yeah, I really love how they aren't afraid to get weird with it. They experiment. They try new things. I really love how every season is something different, but it's obviously the same universe because there's certain characters that show up in different seasons.
It's like the whole Fargo thing. Like, you
Yeah.
get the same, they're playing different roles, but it's the same characters that you know and love. And so, regardless of their role, you're like kind of rooting for them already. So if I would recommend people going back to the beginning, starting over, or doing like little recaps before the new season comes out, which again is going to happen August 25th. So later on, you still have plenty of time.
We're almost there, but yeah.
Any other favorite tidbits? You had a fun fact about Evan Peters, which I didn't know before.
I absolutely love Evan Peters, not only in American Horror Story, but in real life. Not in a weird way. Not in a weird way. So I used to follow him on Instagram, and I was telling you guys this story earlier, but his Instagram handle used to be Boo Boo Daddy. So I got to the point where I would only call him Boo Boo Daddy. Like whenever I was referring to him, that I almost forgot his real name. I would just be like, "Oh, Boo Boo Daddy," and my boyfriend would be like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Oh, Evan Peters, obviously." Yeah. And then it got real sad because I don't know if maybe his management or his agent went to him and were like, you probably shouldn't have an Instagram handle that's Boo Boo Daddy.
Like,
can you imagine
the contracts and we have to put Boo Boo Daddy as Instagram?
If Rihanna can have Bad Girl Riri, he can have Boo Boo Daddy.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's more like a part of her image. I think
he
maybe
could be a
for
Boo Boo
him,
Daddy at night when no one's watching.
Very true.
You never know his private life.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe like if American Horror Story is like doing like an Instagram thing and they're tagging everyone and it's like, and then here's Boo Boo Daddy.
Or even like
and it's
Drake
weird.
as Champagne Pappy. I feel like he should resurrect himself.
Maybe.
Be like Big Boo Boo Daddy.
I mean, none of us on this couch have a problem with Boo Boo Daddy.
Oh no,
someone,
I absolutely
someone
100%.
did.
Someone obviously did because he changed his Instagram handle to Evan Peters and it was very sad. And then he stopped posting and I got
How
real
did he
sad.
get Evan Peters though? That seems like there's a lot of Evan Peters.
Yeah,
maybe he couldn't get it.
He had to file a report.
Like maybe he bought
maybe
it.
he got. Yeah, maybe someone was sitting on it or something.
Yeah.
But then there was like, I just remember one day I opened up Instagram and he posted and his Instagram handle was back to Boo Boo Daddy. And
He was
I
like,
got
I'm going to show them.
so hyped. I was like, yes, Boo Boo Daddy is back. And then he deleted all of his social media and he's not on it anymore. So
he's like, I'm gonna have one last hurrah. Boo Boo Daddy's gonna come back for one last post.
return as Boo Boo Daddy. So
trying to give real life a chance.
So I only try to call him Boo Boo Daddy.
I mean, I didn't know that, and now I'm only gonna call him Boo Boo Daddy because that's way more fun. So
I'll change his text messages in my phone to that.
Oh, perfect.
Tonight when I
So that is all of our American Horror Story tidbits about our seasons, but we do have some fun stuff coming up right now. So it is time for the booze bar. Bartender Ashley is going to be making the Twistini for us today, and we're going to be making it in an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic version.
for the children.
For all you teetotalers out there like me.
And with that, we're also going to eyeball this because we don't have exact measurements.
So I found a recipe online that looked really fun, and Ashley's like, do you know how much of what? And I was like, I feel like it's one of those 1 part, 2 part things.
It's fine.
So
We're
you're
gonna figure it out.
You're gonna make it up for us.
We have measuring device.
We do.
From Inker Hawking. So the first ingredient in the Twistini is blue
We're off to a good start.
We're not drunk already. Blue raspberry vodka, which I've never seen before. It's funny how
fun.
it matches human beings that can't even drink it.
I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's good or not.
So what I'm thinking is first, because I'm getting antsy here, we gotta put ice in the shaker.
Put the ice. Look, show them a shaker. How cool is that shaker?
I was gonna go like this.
Oh, no. It's a skull shaker.
You know what? My hands are giant. Sorry.
It's a skull shaker. If you like one, that's from the At Home store.
We don't have
stock.
those in California, though.
We do
Where?
have them. There's one in Riverside.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of far from us.
Yeah, they're not like as plentiful as Michael's or
Doesn't it kind
Joanne's.
of come out of the? Oh,
It's
No,
fine.
you blend
It's
the
fine.
sun,
We're
then you-
adults here. So we're going to take this blue raspberry vodka.
It's the blue what?
Blue raspberry vodka. And I think what I'm eyeballing here is
Look at
like...
the glass size, and you
I think
tell us.
if we're doing 2,
yes.
we're going to do like 4 ounces. Which is like about like...
That's a lot.
Let's do
Oh, look at how pretty it is.
Let's do 3.5.
Okay.
Oop, it's on my It's on my skirt. And then we're going to go.
Alley-oop.
Oh. You need to put it closer to the microphone so they could hear all the zhuzh sounds.
Well, we've got more flavors coming. So then we just we've got to put this back on the
It's like
shindig.
the sounds.
Now we're going to do this stuff called lime juice. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's at CVS. It's at Bevmo, and
We got
it's
the
probably at
Sweens.
your mom's house. Ooh, and that's disgusting. So we're not going to do very much of that.
A splash.
A splash. How much is a splash?
like a little that's you prefer 2? Yeah, that's good.
That same brand makes really good grenadine.
Yes, they
I just
do.
I have
It's
that
like
in
the
my
best
bag in
grenadine.
your living room, girl.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Should I rim
could
the
put that in
glasses
my-
while you're doing that?
Yes, rim me.
So
And then
What is happening?
what's
that's
cranberry
what you call
juice?
it. That's
What's-
We're
cranberry
gonna get
juice.
this
demonetized.
This looks like it's moonshine.
No, it was in a bigger bottle, but I put it in a little thing.
So, oh, that's disgusting.
These little crystals here are Knott's Berry Farm rock candies crushed up. In case you were wondering.
Because Pop Rocks are extremely hard to find for some reason.
We could not
each
find
went
Pop
to like
Rocks.
3 stores and couldn't find it.
Blood. We're gonna
Ooh.
do 4 ounces.
We went to a lot of stores for Pop Rocks, and apparently I can always find them when I don't need them.
Shh. 4 ounces for the children. 4 ounces. And then what we do is we put this little motherfucker on here. Camera B. Camera A.
Did not work very
Oh
well.
my God. His hat won't go on.
Need help?
Oh God. I'm gonna sit this way for when she shakes that thing.
away.
Get
Make sure it's
away.
on there.
It's on. Ready?
Shake
Ow.
it that way. Yep.
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 Fired.
I caught
Yep.
it all.
Hold
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me see that thing. Yep.
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 That is. Oh, it kind of looks like it's on.
At home.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
What the heck?
No, so I don't think you're supposed to take the twisty off. You're supposed to take this part off.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
that was her shaking it.
no,
No,
that
I
was
know,
me. Look,
but-
this is why I wear black.
Oh.
Do we have? Should I try again?
Do it around town like SpongeBob.
Okay, we're just
Yeah.
gonna around town the shaker because we don't want to make a mess. Listen, I don't think that this is a bad shaker. I think it was just we did the bad.
That's not me. I think it's a bad shaker
it feels-
at home stores in Riverside.
It feels
Who goes
very
to
cold.
Riverside?
If you want to go to at-home stores,
Okay, now we're gonna unscrew babies. Do we want ice in the cup?
Do I not get any?
you do it through the shaker. We gotta make yours special.
You can't have this little
No.
child.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Do
I don't
it.
put stuff on.
I'm gonna put sugar on yours.
Okay.
Hold on.
What about me?
Oh God, that's so aggressive.
That's a
Her
drink.
pour is very aggressive.
I'm a bartender.
I'm gonna need to come in here with the Swiffer and the mop after
No,
we're
we're
Yeah.
fine. This thing's leaking. It's like got his period. I think we have enough for more, but we're just gonna start with this.
Or-
So now, let's put it up here for the children to see. Hi.
for those alcoholic children.
A lot of children.
1 dose. And here's a fucking thing of cotton candy that we're gonna go like this
You have
now.
to put the garnishments in now.
Shh, now we're gonna put a bridge. The bridge to nowhere. Right? Is that
Yeah,
what we
cute. Yeah.
do? Do we want to split it in half, or is this just
No,
gonna be
you
like
get a
obscenely
whole-
phallic?
You get a whole twisty.
Okay, so now we're gonna go like that, and that's really not architecturally great, but we're gonna just go with it. Excuse.
She's eating all of our supplies.
And then we take a big dollop of this, I think. Yeah.
Sure, whatever you want to do. You're the bartender.
Diabetes.
Well, we'll just split it in half then, Cameron the doctor. But look at how stupid that looks.
It looks like a
can't wait
sugary
for it to
cloud
drop.
of heaven.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Wow.
I can't wait for it to drop into the liquid
So
and
now
just
what?
completely vanish.
So now,
Now we wait for the ball to drop. It's not New Year's. What do we do? Like
no,
tank it?
now you're gonna make AJ's the non. Or do you
Oh.
want me to make the non-alcoholic? Wow, I can use words. The non-alcoholic version.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Dasani?
supposed. So the
it's like that sad. Have you guys seen that sad raccoon video where they give him the cotton candy and then he, because
he
you know
puts
how
it
they
in
put everything
water?
in water and he puts it in water and it just dissolves and he's like,
This
where did
one
it
better go
go?
faster.
No, so when the photo that I sent was like the tiniest,
That one's
the
going.
tiniest little dab of cotton candy on a stick,
Oh.
and you just put a whole cloud in
Well, we
there.
could put like
No, leave it. It's good. It's
that's
good.
yours, so
It's
you're gonna
good.
have to deal with your
Okay,
sugar.
so if
shit.
you want to make the non-alcoholic version, I found this is a Calypso Ocean Blue Lemonade. You could do like I don't know, like any blue raspberry. You could even do like a blue raspberry Gatorade, but something blue. And we're gonna
just put it in the
we're
cup.
just gonna put
Yeah,
it in the
'cause-
cup.
And now it's a cocktail.
Well, our shaker is clearly not reliable.
Well, we
It's
could
not a
just go
reliable
like
source.
this.
You just put ice in there. Yeah.
You just and then stir it with Ashley's
oop.
nail like she used to.
Oh yeah, no, I do that now. I'm
And
a
we're
bartender.
gonna put a
Look.
little splash. Oh,
Oh, sorry. 5-second rule.
a little splash of that.
Live by the 5
think
second
we-
rule.
That was 2 splashes.
That was 2 splashes, but I was light-handed on the first splash.
That lime shit
Um,
is strong.
And then we're gonna give it a little splash of the cranberry.
that makes
You
you
like
poop.
are afraid that I'm gonna like throw this at you.
Hey, it's not blue anymore.
Oh no, it's not blue anymore. I'm gonna give you that.
It looks-
back,
Looks like
Oh
blue.
wow, it looks like it's black now.
and then we're gonna put some more of this.
Do we need a cube?
We need a cube. Now it's dark blue,
Now it's dark
like the
blue.
dark ocean. And then I need a swizzled,
No.
twisty thing.
I don't get one because I'm not.
Oh,
fun.
yours looks way more fun. No, and then we need some cotton candy. And this is the non-alcoholic version.
Destined to
looks
fuck your
fun
teeth up.
though.
Should we try these?
Yeah,
scared.
This is for you. I probably should have brought straws, but this is more of a challenge.
Well,
A
we'll
challenge.
just stick this in here then.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
Magic. Magic.
This
What?
is so much sugar. Mm.
Ew.
That
We
is
almost
so-
need that in it.
That is so strong. How's yours? I wouldn't say ew. I would just say it's just really strong.
Well, I'm a
I think
strong
you did a
lady.
good job.
No, I like it.
AJ has no comment. It's tangy because of the cranberry juice,
It tastes.
But
It just
sugary?
kind of tastes like that blue stuff.
the blue lemonade.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to eat this?
You can.
What is that?
You can.
Well, we tried.
I mean,
So don't make these at home.
No, there's good.
no, you should make them. You should totally make them. And we would love to see how creative you could get with your garnishments.
Wait, we're
I
supposed
feel
to
like
do something with
garnishments
this?
is not the right word.
This
Isn't
is like
garnishments
baby's
the right-
first drink.
I forgot. Also, we have New York Seltzer. If you would like it to be bubbly or
Bubbly.
fizzy.
Buble.
Michael Bublé.
And then we just got the vanilla. It comes in all sorts of flavors. Would you like some?
Sure.
Look.
Oh wow.
Do you want some?
No.
Oh, okay. We're going to try it in mine. We are not professional bartenders. Throw that out there.
It's that lime. Ooh.
We like the bubbles.
Ooh. Boop. No.
I like it. I enjoy it very much. You know what? I know why you don't like it.
Because it's not whiskey.
Because it's sweet and you like it straight.
I like it straight.
Try the blue vodka.
the blueberry blobka.
Try the blue
Drink it straight from the
vodka straight.
Oh, I wanted to see you drinking from the bottle.
Or drink it from the bottle, whatever.
It's COVID season, guys. We've got Delta afloat.
Live a little. You're taking that with you.
I was gonna
so-
say,
Oh,
who
I
else is
will.
gonna be drinking from that bottle?
Nobody.
That's breakfast.
See,
Yeah?
Blue.
Wait,
Just
now I
stick
wanna
a
try it.
Twizzler in there.
I'm
That's
gonna try it.
good.
I feel like this booze bar is going on for a very long time.
All the bartenders that are watching are rolling in their grave. Oh wait, they're watching.
Nobody said, I never said I was a bartender. All I did was bring out a tray of lots
Stuff.
of things.
Oh, it's good. Oh,
Oh, wow.
it's good.
Wow.
Good.
That's dangerous. We like this. That's fun. You want to try it, Cameron? So shall we cheers to our attempt at
Drinking.
making the twistini? which was very much improvised from the recipe that we started with.
If you couldn't tell from this segment, it was very improvised.
Instructions will not
it was
be
planned
below.
in the sense that I got a lot of things, and then we figured we'll just see how it goes.
Eyeball.
Yeah, just eyeball it. All right, so up next,
We're going to slip into something a little more comfortable.
or not. Cheers.
I just like to eat the stuff off the side.
Ah. So we are back with some American Horror Story inspired outfits. I'll give you guys one guess. Who am I? Which season am I?
Murder House. Wait.
Come on.
1984.
This sweet jazzercise outfit.
Cult.
You know,
She is working up a sweat.
so I also, as I'm putting this on, we were joking. I'm like, I just look like I want to be Axl Rose. And I came with the jazzercise outfit that's like all the same color, so you can't even see my sweet leg warmers or anything. But the idea is there. I don't own
There's an
colorful
attempt.
clothing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go out and buy like pink leggings for this. So I was like, I'm going to use what I have, and we're going to keep it dark.
But it's great.
Yeah.
It's like you and Jazzercise
Made a baby.
into one beautiful thing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of my look.
Oh, I'm dressed as multiple things. I am not only, I have my Countess sleeves, I have my Murder House shine, I have my Apocalypse A-line bullshit, and my shit-stomping apocalyptic things. Ready for an adventure.
Multi-level.
I didn't wanna
Multi-season into one.
Because they're
I dig
all
it.
connected, guys.
I dig it.
5 out of 7 stars.
Would you wear this outfit in real life?
Yeah, I have. To Vaughn's.
I would not wear this. I mean,
I only got harassed
I wouldn't.
twice,
No?
so it's fine.
I don't see any situation where if
Working
I
out
went
in the yard.
no, that's if I'm working out in the yard, I'm gonna look like a homeless person with like a
okay.
hoodie and like no effort. But I don't see any situation in my life where I'm like, let me put this on to go to the post office. And if I did, it would probably be pretty entertaining. But
Yeah. I think we would get a video of you from someone else, like
Right,
being
like,
like, look at
who
this
the-
person. What is this
It's not
person
Halloween
wearing?
yet.
exactly. And I have a massive wedgie too, so I don't know. I don't dig that very much.
It goes along with the Jazzercise.
I know, but they would wear it like so tight and so high.
So high up. It's
Probably
you
why
have
they
the
had all
super-
yeast infections back then. Honestly.
Monistat was like raking
Monistat
in the
CQ,
dough.
baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
More money than that vaccine.
And AJ, you are.
So I had 2 outfits. So the outfit I was wearing before was inspired by Violet from Murder House, like, you know, the floral print dress with the oversized cardigan and the hat and the Doc Martens.
which is a great look in
It's-
general. It's
and-
made its rounds
Yeah.
now because it's very relevant again.
And then this outfit is more Coven. I really love, I kind of, when I was getting dressed, I was like, this is the scene when Jessica Lange looks to him as like, wear something black.
Yeah. And you're like, I
And I'm
bring
like,
the
yes.
black.
And yeah, so that's my outfits.
So I have one last question before we wrap this up. So in the new American Horror Stories, we are introduced to the Rubber Woman.
Ooh.
And do you think that you guys would be able to wear that full latex suit with the hood?
I've worn one before. It's fine.
But like, for how long?
I hated it because it pulled out my fucking extensions.
Oh,
But it's fine.
I feel like it's one of those things where you're in it, you're probably hot and you're like sweaty, but I think because it's so tight on you, you don't really notice it. But then once you take it off, it's like a lake of just
You're like-
sweat
you're like
comes
hot
out
and
of
cold
it.
you
at
got to
the
get
same time.
lubed
You get
up.
lubed
Yeah.
up.
And the one thing with latex is if you're hot in it. If you're cold in it. So like whatever your body temperature is,
Okay.
like if you're at room temperature and then you go somewhere cold and your body gets cold, you would think that you would sweat in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a weird, every time I've worn it, I've never had really great experiences with latex. So when I see her getting into it, I was like, that's not that easy. She needed a team of people to like get her
That's
in
the
that
thing.
thing.
She didn't put any lube on when she put it on the show, and I was like, I'm not doing that right.
Maybe her skin is already.
Maybe she's very
She's very-
oily.
yeah.
She's very oily. I honestly think that anyone that can wear that thing and like function as a human, like A+, because that's tough.
It seems. No, thank you.
Yeah,
No,
good
thank
luck
you.
taking a pee.
Yeah,
Oh,
you gotta get the
yeah.
one that has like the zipper,
The crotch
the
zippy.
crotch zipper.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's hard. You would see that. So
Sometimes that's not for peeing.
yeah. So with that will do it for this episode of Let's Get Spooky. If you fiends want to check out more, you can watch or listen at letsgetspooky.com. I'm Vamp,
I'm AJ.
and don't forget to
Stay spooky.